Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
The sun is hot on Pacific Boulevard in Huntington Park, California. But the street is not busy. It is usually full of people and noise. Today it is quiet, like a ghost town. Metal gates are locked on the front of the shops, even in the middle of the day. The few people on the sidewalks walk quickly. They look down and do not make eye contact. This is not the Pacific Boulevard that resident Jose Lomeli knows. "I remember Pacific Boulevard was always packed," Lomeli says. "But since the raids have been going on, it's a ghost town. I don't even know how these places are surviving." This change in Huntington Park shows a bigger problem across California. It started when Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, began more operations in June 2025. These actions are part of a new plan from the Trump administration. The fear from these raids has changed daily life in many communities with large immigrant populations. The effects are not just on the people ICE targets. Whole neighborhoods are empty, and businesses have closed. The economy of California is feeling the impact. Fear is a big problem. Even documented immigrants and U.S. citizens are changing their habits. They stay home because they do not want to meet federal agents. This report will look at the effects of this new immigration plan on California. It will show the impact on the economy, communities, and people's lives. 2. A quiet town. Huntington Park is a city in Los Angeles County with about 58,000 residents. It is a special place because almost everyone who lives here is Latino. City leaders think that almost half of the people are undocumented immigrants. Because of this, the city has become a target for federal immigration raids. These raids are part of the Trump administration's plan. A city leader, Jonathan Sanabria, says that federal agents are stereotyping the people in his town. They are targeting people just because they are Latino. This has brought a lot of fear to the community and changed daily life for everyone. Pacific Boulevard is the city's main street for business. It was once a very busy and happy place. Families came to shop, eat at restaurants, and talk with friends. Now it looks like a ghost town. Many stores are closed. The stores that are open look different. They have adopted new ways to protect themselves. During the day, they keep their metal gates and doors locked. This would have been a strange thing to see just a few months ago. It is a big change for the community. When customers want to enter a shop, they must knock first. An employee then opens the door to let them in. This practice helps business owners feel more secure. They know that Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, need a special paper called a warrant to enter a private business. Locking the door is a way to stop agents from coming inside easily. But this new way of doing business also creates an atmosphere of fear. Life's happy moments are also affected. A local bridal shop owner said her business is suffering. People planning weddings are now too afraid to go out and buy a dress. Important events like weddings and baptisms are being canceled or postponed. The fear in Huntington Park is causing serious money problems for the city. When people stay home, they do not spend money at local businesses. As a result, sales have dropped a lot. This means that business owners make less money, and the city gets less money from sales tax. City Council member Sanabria is worried. He says lower tax money means the city cannot provide good services for its residents. This creates a difficult cycle. The raves create fear. The fear hurts business, and hurt businesses mean less money for the whole community. Business owners who have worked for many years are watching their customers disappear because of fear. 3. The money stops. The problem was not just in small towns. It was happening all over California. California has a very large economy. If it was a country, it would be the 4th largest in the world. But now this big economy was in trouble. The fear from the immigration raids affected the entire state. A new study from a university showed how serious the problem was. In late May and early June, the number of people going to work fell by about 3%. This was a big drop. It was like the first days of the COVID-19 lockdowns, when everyone had to stay home. At the same time, more people were going to work in the rest of the country. This showed that California had a unique and serious problem. The situation was not the same for everyone. It was much worse for women who were not U.S. citizens. For this group, about 1 in every 12 women did not go to work. This was a huge change that hurt many families and businesses. The study also found that even some U.S. citizens stayed home. They were also afraid to go out and spend money, which hurt businesses even more. Immigrant workers are very important to California's economy. Their work helps to create many other jobs. For example, when immigrant workers build a house, other people, like electricians and plumbers, also get jobs on that project. If the first group of workers cannot do their job, then the other workers lose their jobs too. This is why economists say these workers are the backbone of the economy. The money problem was very big. If all undocumented workers left California, the state could lose $278 billion. This is a very large amount of money. These workers also pay $23 billion in taxes every year. This money helps pay for schools and roads. When the workers stop, the money stops too, and everyone in California feels the effect. 4. Work stops. The fear of raids stopped people from going to work. This created big problems for many important industries in California. The state's farms felt the effects immediately. California grows about half of the fruits and vegetables for the United States. This work needs many farm workers. But now, workers were afraid to go to the fields. They worried that immigration agents would find them. As a result, crops were not picked. In Ventura County, a strawberry farmer lost most of his fruit. It was left to rot on the plants because there was nobody to harvest it. This was not just a problem for farmers. When there is less food, prices go up for everyone in the country. The construction industry also had a major problem. There was already a shortage of workers before the raid started. Now it was much worse. Many construction workers are immigrants. George Carrillo of the Hispanic Construction Council said that building projects were now 22% behind schedule. Important projects like new hospitals, airports, and sports stadiums were delayed. Even recovery work after wildfires was slowing down because there were not enough people to do the jobs. The problems were easy to see in the retail industry. Busy shopping areas became quiet. The Los Angeles fashion district was usually full of people. Now, many stores were closed and the streets were empty. Business groups said there was a 30% drop in visitors. One leader in the district, Anthony Rodriguez, said the situation was worse than the COVID-19 lockdown. Every day, thousands of shoppers stayed home. This meant that local businesses were losing huge amounts of money. From the farms to the city stores, the whole state felt the economic pain. 5. People are scared. The new immigration raids changed life for many people in California. The problem is not just about empty streets or closed businesses. It is about the personal stories of people who now live with fear every day. They have to make difficult choices that nobody wants to make. This fear is a heavy weight on the community. Urbano is a 63-year-old man. He sells tacos from a truck in Los Angeles. He has lived in the city for 43 years. That is a very long time, but he does not have legal documents. Every day he faces a hard choice. He can stay home to be safe from immigration agents, but if he does that, he earns no money. He cannot pay for his house or his family's food. So he has to go to work and risk arrest. We have to go out to work, he says. If not, who's going to pay our rent? He works hard, but he lives with constant fear. Vilma Medina sells jewelry on Olvera Street. This historic street is often full of tourists and local families. But now it is quiet. Vilma's business is in big trouble. Her sales have dropped by 80%. It is a very big change. On some days, she sells almost nothing. There'll be days I've sold $10 the whole day, she says. Summer is usually a busy season, but this year people are too afraid to come out and shop. Vilma must use her personal savings to pay for everything. She hopes things get better, but she does not know when that will be. The fear affects everyone in the community, not just undocumented immigrants. Christopher Perez is a good example. He owns a fashion store in Los Angeles, and he is a legal resident. All of his workers are legal too. Still, his business is suffering badly. His sales are down by 50%. The problem is simple. A lot of people are scared to come out, he explains. His customers are afraid to visit the area because they worry about immigration raids. His story shows that when a community is scared, everyone suffers, including legal business owners. This fear even touches the happiest moments in people's lives. In Huntington Park, a woman owns a small shop that sells beautiful wedding dresses. A wedding should be a time of joy and celebration. But her business is now very bad. Future brides and their families are afraid to go shopping. To protect her customers, the owner keeps her shop doors locked during the day. If someone wants to come inside to see the dresses, they have to knock first. This changes a happy experience into a stressful one. It shows how deeply fear has changed daily life for everyone. The fight back. The fear was strong, but the people and leaders in California did not stay quiet. They began to fight back against the federal government's immigration raids. From the state government building to the local streets, a resistance started to grow. State leaders, city mayors, and community groups all worked to protect their communities. California's state leaders were very clear. Governor Gavin Newsom publicly called for the Trump administration to stop the raids. He said they were hurting communities. The state used its special sanctuary law as a shield. This law limits how local police can cooperate with federal immigration agents. Other leaders focused on the economic argument. They explained that immigrant workers are an important part of California's economy and contribute more than $23 billion in taxes every year. City governments also took strong action. In Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass signed a directive to use city resources to help immigrants. This meant providing support for affected families and businesses. In Orange County, the Santa Ana City Council also passed rules to show its commitment to its immigrant communities. They wanted to send a clear message. Immigrants were welcome, and the city would stand with them. The fight quickly moved into the courts. The federal government started legal action against sanctuary cities like Los Angeles. They wanted to force these cities to help with the raids. But California and many of its cities did not back down. They started their own legal fight against the government. This became a major test of power between the state and the federal government. On the streets, everyday people organized to protect each other. Community groups like Union del Barrio formed patrols. They watched for ICE agents and posted videos and alerts online to warn people to stay inside. Volunteers built large aid networks. They brought groceries to families who were too scared to go out and offered free legal advice. Even business groups began to lobby the government. They explained that their businesses could not survive without their workers and customers. 7. The big picture. The problems happening in California are part of a larger national story. The immigration enforcement actions of 2025 are very different from the past. The Trump administration's plan is more intense and widespread. National Guard soldiers are being used to help ICE agents, which is a significant change. In previous years, the government mainly arrested immigrants with criminal records. But now the focus has shifted. Data from June 2025 in Los Angeles showed that more than half of the people arrested were not criminals. They were arrested only for immigration violations. This new strategy seems designed to disrupt communities and create a high level of fear. California's experience is unique in the country. The state has sanctuary laws, which are meant to protect immigrant communities. These laws limit how local police can cooperate with federal immigration agents. Because of this, there is a major conflict between the California government and the national government. This creates a different situation than in other states. For example, states like Texas and Florida work more closely with federal authorities. As a result, the economic problems and community fear in California are much more severe. It has become a key example of what happens when a state strongly resists federal policy. History gives us some context for these events. The country has seen large immigration enforcement actions before, such as Operation Wetback in the 1950s. But the 2025 campaign is different. It is larger in scale and has continued for a longer time without stopping. Modern communication also changes everything. With smartphones and social media, news and fear spread through communities in seconds. This allows people to warn each other, but it also creates a constant feeling of anxiety that affects everyone. These events are creating a new and challenging chapter in the history of American immigration. 8. What happens next? The empty streets in California's communities tell a clear story. Places like Huntington Park are now like ghost towns. This shows the high cost of the immigration raids. The cost is not just about money. It also affects people's lives in a very serious way. The government's policy has created a lot of fear, and this fear has changed everything. The policy seems to hurt the economy more than it helps. Data shows that immigrant workers are a big part of California's economy. They work in important industries like agriculture and construction. They also pay billions of dollars in taxes every year. These taxes help pay for schools and roads for everyone. When these workers cannot go to their jobs, businesses lose money and the state loses tax money too. The government spends a lot on enforcement, but this policy seems to damage the economy it is supposed to protect. Even with these big problems, the communities have shown great strength. People are helping each other in creative ways. They have adapted to the difficult situation. For example, some shops now lock their doors during the day and ask customers to knock. Community groups organize to deliver food to families who are afraid to go outside. People watch for ICE agents and warn their neighbors to stay safe. This shows how resilient people can be when they are under pressure. But this energy is used for survival, not for growth and building a better life. These events in California ask important questions about the future of America. They make everyone think about the country's values and what it wants to be. The situation is a test for the nation's economy and its identity. The quiet streets and locked businesses are a powerful symbol of these difficult choices. They force us to look at the real results of these government actions. What do you believe is the true cost of these policies, and who really pays the price?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.